Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more Oxygen Not Included. I'm going to pause the game right here at the get-go. I was going to talk about what we've done in the last episode, which involves clearing out a bunch of the chlorine over in this area of the base so that we can try and make it just a little bit more habitable. If we look at the oxygen overlay, you'll notice that it is now almost mostly oxygen. I think we should really get rid of like this bit of, I think it's phosphorite. Yeah, get rid of this and then allow the chlorine to fall down, allow the oxygen to more easily rise up so we can pump out even more of that chlorine over and across into the other side of the base over here. I completely forgot about that. We're going to have to go and search that out at some point in the future. But the reason that I paused so early on is that I noticed that stress is getting ridiculously high. It's getting a little bit too high for my liking. And so I think the first thing that we are going to have to do in today's episode is set up one, if not multiple, of the massage tables to try and rapidly reduce the stress of a couple of our duplicates, specifically Sarah and James. Iskal's getting a little bit up there, and Isaac is kind of higher than I'd like it to be. Bert's doing fine, and Nick is just stress-free, bless him. But I think we should almost certainly probably do this up here. I'll put one there, and I'll put one... do I want to do it there? I know they do require power, and so I'm quite tempted to put one like right here next to the notice board. That does kind of put them... you know what I will do? For now, I'm going to put them here and here. The reason why I wanted to put them up at the top here is I thought we might be able to get the recreational room bonus, which is just, it's not very specific as to what this requires. It says room criteria, recreational building. Is that like a specific station? Maybe jobs board, textile loom. I don't think that it is. It just says recreational building, which I think the massage table might count as. It seems like that would make sense, although I'm not quite sure if that is indeed the case. No industrial machinery, which makes sense, and then decorational items, I'm assuming like paintings and flower pots and whatnot. And so I thought we might be able to go ahead and make a recreational room, but in the case of getting this up nice and quickly and not having to run power too far, I'm going to go ahead and do something like this. We'll also get rid of these cables because they are not necessary, and I'm going to bump these up to like priority 9 because I want people to get over here as soon as possible. I want these built ASAP, get them out of this area down here, which is just causing so much stress, especially to those people who are very skilled like Sarah and like James, I assume. Let's take a look. Yeah, James is also up here at tier 3 now, which does put him pretty high on the list. The two people who are not high up, Nick and Bert, are the ones who are not getting too stressed out, but that's probably going to change because I'm going to bump Nick up to be an electrical engineer, and I'm going to bump Bert up to be an actual farmer instead of just being a farmhand. I think I'm going to hold off on bumping Sarah up to being a tenured scientist because that does come with an extra 75 in the decor expectation. Let me have a look real quick. If I pause, where is Sarah and what is her decor expectation? So, I'm one of you two, Sarah. No, you're Bert and Iskal. Oh, here she is. Her decor expectation is 100, which is pretty crazy, actually. Let's have a look. If that goes up by 75 to 175, that would be ridiculous. The decor expectation around here is occasionally 100, but that is actually mad. It does say on here that her decor is going down. It says current change per second is negative 4.17. So her decor is lowering actively. Oh yeah, it's going down. I'm not quite sure what causes that because now it's at like 80, which is a lot better. I'm assuming that the more time she spends in areas of low decor, so the more time she spends kind of over here in this area that I'm assuming is just horribly bad when it comes to decor here. Yeah, 0, negative 24, negative 35. I'm assuming the more time that the duplicates spend in areas like that, the more their decor expectation rises. I would assume that then the more time they spend in the nicer areas of the base, their decor expectation kind of slowly but surely lowers itself down. So, Sarah, please get on the bed here. But if you get on that bed, I'm going to be so angry with you. Get on that bed. I was so ready for Bert to just get on that bed with like 10% stress while Sarah just stands watching around. Flipping heck. I'm also going to bump these up to like priority 7. Stress is like a really... Actually, I'm going to make it priority 8. I want people on these tables before they do anything else. Sarah, get out of this area of the base. Your stress is at 75%. We are like dangerously close, if not already at the point where Sarah is going to start exhibiting symptoms of her stress, which include... Let's have a look here. What are her traits? Binge eating. She's also got an irritable bowel, but I don't think that's a stress response. But binge eating is probably fine. It's probably one of the better stress responses that we could hope for because we do have quite a nice amount of food on the go. And now that Bert is a higher level, he can actually start to use that farming station and hopefully get us even more crops going forward. I think the key thing that we got out of him actually becoming a farmer is that he can now actually get an extra seed when he harvests. That's especially important for these thimbleweed seeds, because right now we've still got 0 in storage. We just got the 2 out here, and so if we could get more of those going forward, that's going to help us out when we start looking into making clothing, and more importantly, when we start looking into getting some of the exosuits a little bit later on down the line. Stress is slowly coming down. It's at 73%. Sarah is on the stress table. I like it. She's not on the one that we assigned her to, so I'm just going to unassign that one real quick. No idea why she decided to go to that one over the other one, but that's fine. Stress is coming down. I like it. It says break ends at 0, so I would not mind if they stayed on here until their stress hit 0, but I have a feeling they're going to get off before then. Either way, that's fine. And now we can kind of get on to what I wanted to do in today's episode, which first of all involves getting rid of this here. Now, I think we are going to have to do it piece by piece, much like in the last episode when we tried to redo the farming area. If I give them an assignment to do all of this, they're going to go ahead and start at the front and then not be able to get to the back end. Although, I guess what we could do if we didn't want to have to keep coming back to this every time they take a piece away is we could set this one to 9, this one to 8, this one to 7, this one to 6. You get the idea. 5, 4, 3, 3. I don't think there's much point setting it lower than 3, because like an even 3 is too low, because once it gets to priority 3, they're just not going to do it. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to set that all. I'm going to do like 6 here. Dig this out at priority 6, please. And then like 5 for that. So hopefully they'll go do that eventually. I'm not too bothered about them doing it super fast. You know, like right now it looks like the pump has got more than enough chlorine to be taken care of. It does get a bit of oxygen now, and of course we are wasting power by cycling the oxygen that's already here kind of around and around. But as you can see here, the chlorine is very quickly dissipating, which is actually really good. And I think we can probably even now start to work on extending this ladder further up through here. And also, whilst we're at it, we should probably harvest some of this algae. Although, I think we could probably do this algae first, right? Because we've only got 66 kilograms left, and we are going to start to run into issues if we do run out of that fairly shortly here. These two still on the massage table. I am fine with that. It does say, what's the starting value? I think the starting value is like 50. I'll probably bring that down to like 30, so that as soon as these two get off, Isaac can jump on, and then Iskal, I guess, can also jump on and try and get his stress down. Especially because they are still going to be coming back over into this area, and the stress is going to start to rise again. It's just going to kind of circle on forever and ever, which is not great. So I'll bring that down to 30 now. Sarah has jumped off, which is fine. I'll bring you down to 30 as well, and hopefully going forward we don't see any stress get above 50, although Iskal is still up there. These are still priority 8, correct? They are indeed. Okay, so hopefully anytime anybody's stress gets above 30, what I would like is for them to stop what they're doing and go and get on the massage table until they are below like 20 or below 10 would be great. I'm going to leave it at 0 because they get off anyway. They don't stay there too long. And I think going forward, I will actually try and set up a recreational room up at the top here that has more than 2 massage tables, because I think we definitely could benefit from that. Maybe. We'll see. But that is not what I want to work on in today's episode. What I want to work on in today's episode, first of all, is digging out all of that algae over there, because we're down at 0 kilograms, and so oxygen production is going to stop. I think we've got a good enough amount of oxygen already in the base to where it's not really going to matter too much if we don't have any algae lying around. How are we doing for coal? 11.7 is also fine. There we go. We got an extra ton of algae. I like it. What I want to work on in today's episode, aside from this thing over here, which, by the way, once this ladder is built, I'm going to move this gas pump. Also, once we've got rid of most of the chlorine, which I think we've pretty much done. There are little bits of chlorine here and there that we're going to have to kind of get rid of some other way, I think. We're going to have to kind of dig this out so it flows down and gets into the pump. But I think slowly but surely, and then we'll seal this off, of course, but slowly but surely, that chlorine will be gotten rid of. Then we're going to move the pump right to the top here so that all of the hydrogen, both in this pocket, and then probably also here and here, and actually that's chlorine, not hydrogen, never mind, but at least this pocket and this pocket here, all of the hydrogen will rise up to the top, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to have all the hydrogen from these 2 pockets pumped back around through and over to the other end of the base, which is still not too high in terms of pressure. I was a little bit worried that we'd get to like 1,400, 1,500 grams in terms of the pressure in this area, but it looks like for the most part the whole thing is still under 1,000, which is still more than can be said for this area down here, which you can see is all kind of 1,000 grams. So I didn't really want to pump into that area down there. That's just got a lot of germs there, and is also very dense with polluted oxygen, which is also not what we wanted. But outside of getting this ladder built, which I am going to put at, I think, a priority 6. I don't want people to, like, drop everything to do it, but I would like to get it done kind of sooner rather than later. And also, I'm not really bothered if they harvest that plant, but if they do, that's fine. It's not going to hurt us too much. I did notice, oh, there's some chlorine in there. Can we get a ladder ASAP up here just to kind of get rid of that chlorine so that we can kind of have it done with once and for all? Just dig out all of the bleach stone. Like, that will make that priority 6 as well. I think we got to get Iskall in to dig that out, but that's fine. But what I want to work on in today's episode, outside of this stuff, what I want to start planning for is a little bit of a reorganizing of our power system. I mentioned this a little bit in the last episode, but I kind of want to organize things a little bit more. Our power system is a bit of a mess. I want to start working with some transformers to make sure that we don't overload any of our cables and to make sure that everything in the base gets power evenly and that hopefully all of our power goes through batteries as well, so that we've got a nice backlog of power if and when we do run out of coal, because as we've seen before, if we do run out of power right now, everything connected on this grid here and these batteries is fine, but that's not really the things that we want to be fine, right? Because if the power goes out, we can still filter water, we can still do science, at least basic science, and we can still crush rocks and still make clothes that we don't do, and the massage table still work, but our fridges stop working and our deoxidizers stop working, which, if anything, are the two things that we want to keep going, right? Those are the things we want to stay operational when we run out of power, not things like the rock crusher and the water sieve. So I do want to change that. I want to make sure that everything is a bit more organized and that we have the key things working when stuff stops working. And to do that, I want to set up a couple of transformers. And so what I'm thinking here is that on the left, I might move the storage compactors. I'm not quite sure. But basically what I would like to do over in power, we've got these little power transformers. These guys right here. And the power transformers protect circuits from overloading by increasing or decreasing the power flow. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to have all of our power flow into transformers. You know, we can have thousands of watts pumping into transformers, and they will only let a maximum of 1,000 watts out of the smaller end. So the bigger end on the left can take in as much power as it wants, but the smaller end will only ever let out 1,000 watts, meaning that our cables will never overload, which is great. And so what I'm thinking here is that if I get my base tile tool out, we're probably going to build out of insulated tile, because from what I've seen, the transformers can get quite hot, especially when they're working with quite a bit of power, and temperature is already a bit of a sticking point in the base. We've got this guy down here, which is still, again, up at like 70 degrees Celsius, which might be a bit too hot. These guys might start to break somewhat soon. I'm not quite sure. Overheat temperature is 75, so we might want to start cooling that down ASAP. But more importantly, the rest of the base is not too bad, but it is getting a little bit too close to kind of 30 degrees for my liking. Also, I completely forgot about the battery. We should really get rid of that. That's just emitting heat unnecessarily. Can I get a priority 8 delete on that battery, please? Just get rid of it. It's unnecessary. We've got better batteries down here, which are doing the job just fine. The chlorine has been moved. This is good. It's also gone down there. So I think, yeah, let's get like a priority 7 dig on this as well. And then let's also build like a tile here and here so that we can get that done. And again, I'm going to make the bottom one, bottom one's priority 8. Do that one first so that it pushes the chlorine up and doesn't trap it underneath. Although I think either way would push the chlorine up and out. So that's fine. And also let's dig this out as well so that hopefully this chlorine here kind of falls down and into the range of the gas pump. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking good. This is looking breathable. I think it is very hot over here. Yeah, 42 degrees. So if we were to try and live here, if we wanted to put anything here that the duplicants accessed regularly, we would have to probably look at putting some fans down, or at least something to kind of start to cool the air down around here. But nevertheless, let me see. Let me get my base insulated tile here, and let's try and line out where I want these to be. I'm probably going to have to move this because I think I want it to look something like this. I'm not quite sure how wide I want it to be just yet. And also, guys, this is like a no. This is low. Fine. You know what? Cancel these two because we also need a door for now. I might eventually just seal it off completely, but for now, we are going to want a door there. And if you want, yeah, sure, you can build. No, I'm going to bring this down to priority 5. You've got other things probably that need doing before this. And so while they built that, I want it to look something like this. We'll close it off, maybe here, but maybe a bit further back, depending on how much room we need. But I want to have a transformer that's going to go right about there. Again, priority 5 is fine. Right about there. And then behind it, I want a battery like that. So the idea is here that all of our power is going to go through heavy watt wire. Heavy watt wire is exactly the same as normal wire, apart from the fact that it can transfer 20 kilowatts of power before it starts to overload. And so also it can't go through tiles, I don't think. Yeah, you can't put them inside tiles, so that is something you kind of have to worry about. You can go through walls using the heavy watt join plate. And so, for example, if I wanted to go from our coal generators, which I do, I'd have to go across like this. Obviously, they can't put them here just yet because there's already wires in their place, but they're going to go across. And then once we get to this join, we would have to put a join plate like that. That would connect the heavy watt wire on one side to the heavy watt wire that's going to be on the other side here. This is then going to run probably like this. It is expensive, I should point out. In order to make this heavy watt wire, it does require either copper, gold, or iron, which is pretty expensive. But the idea here is it's going to go up, across, and then I'll probably have it come in like this through one of these, another one of these heavy watt joiner plates like so. And then this will just come up like that, close up the room. The room will, of course, close up like this to seal it in and make sure the heat doesn't escape. And then the power will go into the battery. I hope this works. I hope the heavy watt plate can connect directly to the battery. But I have a feeling it won't. And so just to be on the safe side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that back by one, like this, and then put the heavy watt plate right about there, and then have a heavy watt wire that connects like that. We'll then have that heavy watt wire go across and into the transformer. So all the power is, of course, going to first go into the battery. Following the battery, it's going to go into the transformer. And at that point, we will have normal wire come out of the transformer and then power either 1 or 2 levels. So for example, this one here can output up to 1,000 watts. We've got 240, with the fridges, that's 480. With this, that's 720. And with this, that's what, 960? Is that right? Something like that. So hopefully this transformer here will power everything on this level. We'll then duplicate this setup one tile up. So we'll build the exact same room. And also I can press play here. There's no need for me to be paused, but we'll build the exact same room just above it in the exact same way. And then that one I think requires a little bit less power. You know, this level here has got the supercomputer plus the normal computer. We can get rid of the wheel, hopefully, at some point in the future. So that's only 180, and that's it on that level. So this one can probably power this level as well as the level above it. You know, both of the massage tables taking up 480 in total. And then we'll have a third one at the top that powers these guys. And then we do also have the issue of things down here. What I'll probably end up doing is, like this top one, I might have it go across to the ladder and then down to power things that are down here, just because I don't think that that's going to have much of a power load, at least not in the near future. We can put like a power bridge there so that the one that's here can still power the mill, but then the one from the top can power like our pumps and our deoxidizers and stuff like that going forward as well. So that's the plan. It's not quite set in stone. There are things that might change depending on what comes up, but that's kind of my general idea for how I want to organize and sort out power going forward here. How are we looking in terms of chlorine? We are looking really good. There's a little bit of chlorine. Slowly but surely, that's going to go over to the pump and kind of clear on out. All the other little bits are going to fall slowly but surely down into here as well. We do have some carbon dioxide, of course, being generated, but that's fine. We can clear that out as well in the future. And there's a teeny tiny little bit of chlorine trapped in there. Can I do like a priority 7 dig here and reach that? Probably not, right? I'm probably going to have to put down another ladder like that, but that's fine. Hopefully that should allow them to reach that. We can cancel this dig. We don't need those just yet, which is fine. This is starting to break by the looks of it. I'm not quite sure why. I'm assuming it's not temperature. And also we are having a bit of a problem with gas pressure as well, which is also not really surprising. There is a lot of oxygen in here. And actually, let's go ahead and get rid of both of those algae deoxidizers for now. We don't need to have that much oxygen around there. And we've still got, I think, more than enough oxygen around our normal base as well, which is good. We're not producing as much as we're using right now, but again, we've been producing in excess for such a long time that for now, that kind of makes sense. So, they're still working on the ladder, which is good. What priority is that? That's priority 6. So they're going to get around to that slowly but surely. Stress has come way down. Everybody's now below 30, which is good. Who's on the table right here? Nick and James. Okay. I am going to bring the priority of that down to 7. I still want it to be a high priority. I still want them to do it pretty regularly, but not quite that regularly. They don't need to be on it above all else, you know. And also, we can probably bring this down to a 7 as well. There's no need, really, I don't think, for the manual generator to be an 8. And so, yeah, let me just line this out. I want this one doing before the rest of them. But this one, actually, no, I probably want them all doing at the same time, right? Yeah, so I'll lay this out. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're going to have this go up. And across, we're, of course, going to have to move this at some point in the future. But for now, nope, I also want this to be a 5. You don't have to build this right now, guys. Don't worry about it. I did just set the compost to 5 as well, but we can fix that in the future. Like I said, we are going to move it, so it's not really too big of a deal. And then again, we'll put one here, and we'll replace those with the insulated tiles going forward. And I think for now, that might be fine. Although I guess I might as well do that and do this. And again, probably get rid of that and probably move these maybe up a level or something like that. Or I might even just... it might be better, actually, if I just put the final one like here. If I just did this and put the last one at the top instead of moving all these, because that would take quite a bit of time and cause quite a bit of commotion and involve a lot of sweeping that I really don't want to have to do just yet. So we'll put those there, cancel the mistakes, get rid of you, get rid of you. For now, I guess we'll put down... I would like to put down mechanized airlocks. How much do these cost to make? So... they're double the price of the normal airlocks, and if you do hook them up with power, they do end up using power, obviously. But I think I'll go with these. The heat is obviously not going to be that big of a deal, and how much power do they use? 120 watts. I'm assuming that they don't use that much power. Maybe I'm assuming they don't passively use 120 watts. Although, you know what? No, we'll be a bit more frugal. We'll use the pneumatic airlocks. The only thing that's going to come out of here is a little bit of heat. Which, again, is not really what I'm after, but at the end of the day, it's probably fine. And so it's hopefully not going to be too big of a deal. Still no extra thimble reeds, which I'm not loving. And food is also still quite low, although I'm hoping that Bert and James are on the job and are going to keep our food at a reasonable level, hopefully. Also, yeah, the water, the polluted water. We've got polluted water all over the place. That needs taken care of. I think what I am probably going to do... is just like dump it over here somewhere. I think I'm just gonna like rotate that with O, not R. Keep forgetting that. And then I'm just gonna have them build that on like priority 7 real quick. And I'm just gonna have that be where all the polluted water, for now at least, gets dumped out. In the future, we can go ahead and move it, or we can recycle it. But we don't really have anywhere else to put it just yet. We got rid of our room full of polluted water, which I think is a good idea in the long run. I don't think we needed that. I think we're better off without it, but it does mean that we don't have anywhere to put our polluted water, which, for the time being, is a bit of an issue. Can you still not access that over there? Really? Okay, in that case, then, can I get another priority 7 ladder, like here and here? That should definitely be able to reach that once that is done. Also, we can probably deconstruct this ladder. Oh, no, we do need that ladder there, don't we? Because we need to be able to get to this ladder. That's fine. That's fine. You guys are scheduled to be deconstructed, but have not yet been deconstructed. Let's make those priority 6s real quick, get that done. Iskal should come and do that last little bit here, I think. Is he on his way? I have no idea. We'll get around to it at some point in the future. Stress, still a big issue, still being taken care of, but that's fine. Also, somebody in the comment section told me that, you'll notice we got polluted water, right? And a lot of our polluted water is going down and getting turned back into this germ-infested water, and some of it is getting turned into... or being used at least, to get rid of the carbon dioxide in the carbon skimmer. But really, we want it to go to our thimble reeds before it goes to anything else, because quite often I will look up at the farm and see that the thimble reeds don't have, you'll see right now it says growth halted irrigation. Not enough polluted water is being sent to the thimble reeds, and somebody in the comment section told me that water prefers to go through liquid bridges rather than going past them. And so I think putting a liquid bridge here, if that's true, should mean that the water should prioritize going through here to our hydroponic farms before they go down to the water sieve and to the carbon skimmer. I haven't tested that, and so I have no idea if that's true, but we put one down, and I guess we just wait until somebody goes to the toilet again in order to test that, or use the shower again for that matter, and in order to test that. But if that is true, that's going to be useful, because I would like these pipes to fill up before the water goes down to these areas over here. That would be preferable to me. I think that would work out quite nicely. We're getting very close to day 100, which is fantastic. And I think now all of the little pockets of badness in here, we've got a little bit of chlorine still hanging around over here, but most of this now is just carbon dioxide. There's more chlorine down here, obviously, but again, we're going to seal that up. Most of it is carbon dioxide. So again, I'm going to get like a level 7 dig here. I'm going to dig out this bit, so that last little bit of chlorine filters on down, gets pumped out, And then we're almost here as well on the hydrogen, at which point we can just move that up and put the pump up there and start to pull that out as well. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, as we dig further up, we'll probably try and avoid this chlorine and this hydrogen. I'm hoping we can find some kind of steam geyser maybe around here. And if so, we probably want to unlock the research for renewable energy to get the steam turbine so we can start turning that basically free steam into power. That's my plan at least. Hopefully we can get there. If we find I don't know, maybe like a, what are the other geysers we can find? We can find the natural gas geyser as well, I believe. The natural gas geyser could also allow us to use the natural gas generators to produce some extra power as well. And so that's kind of my plan going forward for power, and I'm just hoping that we can survive on coal until then. I think we should be able to fairly easily. There's a bunch of it down here. There's more of it down here, over here. There's just loads of coal kind of all around the base. We shouldn't, the same's true with algae really, there shouldn't be an issue with coal anytime soon, especially now that we've got these airlocks in place so the chlorine and the hydrogen can't get into our base and cause us any problems, so long as we're sensible and take our time when working around building these and do stuff like we've done over here to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So did you not dig this out? Level 7, please dig this as well, Iskal, while you're at it. Thank you very much. That should again allow all that chlorine to slowly but surely fall down there. Can I get, yeah, this done? Can we get like a level 7 dig on this? Just finish that off there real quick. And what is everyone working on outside of this stuff over here? Not much, actually. It looks like everyone's kind of just doing this as their primary focus, right? Yeah, they're digging that out. They've got to come down to be able to harvest. It says unreachable build, but I'm assuming that's just because that ladder's not built. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Food is ever so slightly, it's ever so slightly starting to worry me. Like, these are all almost ready to grow, to be harvested even. And so I'm assuming that very shortly we're going to get like a big harvest of food there, which is going to be good. Also, let's not forget that you are polluted water, and I'm going to make that like a priority 7 as well. I want the polluted water. Actually, I'm going to make that a priority 8. If there's any polluted water around the base, I want that getting taken out ASAP before other things get done, because otherwise it starts to sit there and then it starts to produce polluted oxygen. And although we do have some scrubbers around the base, some deodorizers, slowly but surely kind of getting rid of that polluted oxygen, it's a lot better if it's just not produced in the first place, so we can just get rid of it. Are you disinfecting the bottle emptier? I guess that's fine. I haven't really checked germs out for the most part. Yeah, we should definitely scrub some of these things. Let's get the disinfect. Let's disinfect the computer, disinfect the toilet. That should be done like almost daily. Everyone's got quite a bit of food poisoning actually, which I really don't like. I'm also really not a fan of the fact that the food poisoning has infected the air up here. I'm guessing that's just polluted water maybe, but I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. The fridge should definitely not have food poisoning in it. This pump could also be disinfected as well. I don't think it's a problem. Our immune systems are fine, and I think people, for the most part, can deal with a bit of food poisoning. But, you know, there's nothing really stopping us from every so often going around and just cleaning things up to make sure that our duplicates don't get overrun with food poisoning. You know, I don't think we've yet seen our immune system drop below 100%, and if possible, I'd like to keep it that way. I would very much so like it if we always had 100%. Also, let's do like a priority 7 dig here like this, because I want all of this chlorine, and also we'll just dig all the way down, I reckon, like that. I want all of this chlorine here to fall down. I want to get rid of the chlorine. I don't want to have any chlorine or any hydrogen in the base when we start to kind of move in and start to live in here. Obviously, I don't think it matters too much. I think having little tiny pockets of chlorine are not going to be a problem, but if possible, I'd like for them to not exist. Also, are these like infected with something? They're not. Why are these emitting like little bits of badness? Maybe I should like have our bleach stone stored in here maybe? Although I feel like that makes no sense, right? If we store the bleach stone in the storage compactor that's covered in, or that's going to have all of our slime in it, yeah, that could be a problem. Although we got no slime in there. I'm not quite sure what we did with our slime, but let's get, yeah, let's get all of our bleach stone in here. What's that under? Filtration medium? No, it's under consumable ore, right? Consumable ore, bleach stone. Yeah, let's put bleach stone in there as well. And again, I'm going to set it to like priority. Oh, it's already at 6. That's fine. They'll do that when they're good and ready to do it. Not really bothered about digging that out just yet. That's fine. Coal is being delivered, which is good. The water pump is doing its job, which is nice. Haven't really got to this yet, but that's okay. This is kind of the priority for the time being. Also, the benefit here is we got a little bit extra algae as we dug up as well, which is nice. We're up at 4 tons, which should be enough to keep us going for a little while here. And again, hopefully, we should start to see a good food harvest now. If not, we might have to turn the microbe musher back on for a little while to try and get food reserves back up to a high amount again. Your colony has produced 129.5 kilograms of oxygen this cycle. Duplicates consumed at 213. Still not bothered about that really. And then the wash basin doesn't have water. That is because this cannot reach water, which is a problem. So, can I get like a level 9 deletion of this? And I think what I'm going to do is just make this shorter, right? So like priority 9, I want this done ASAP because we need water. Let's do something like this. We're just going to move basically this level and build another one of the pitcher pumps just a little bit further down. Priority 9, right about there. Cool, and that should allow them to reach almost all. I don't know if it's quite going to reach that bottom tile. It definitely doesn't. But it allows them to reach quite a bit of the water that is down here. And I think that could start to become an issue that we have to deal with. I think at some point soon, we're going to have to start seeking out these big bodies of polluted water and kind of pumping them through our water sieve just to get more everyday water that we use in things like the wash basin. And also, I keep coming back to the fact that we don't have really a lot at all in the way of non-polluted, non-germ infested water, and that is something that could be a big problem for us going forward, and something that I think I'm going to have to work on start to work on at least in the next episode. So I think all of the chlorine has fallen. I think we are pretty much, for the most part, out of chlorine. There's a few little stubborn naggly bits right about there, but just in preparation, let's go ahead and grab a gas pipe and then just run that all the way up like that, and then we might as well continue with the ladder actually all the way up a bit further to like here, and then we can put the pump right about there. Also, let's just like dig out a little bit of the iron ore here just to make it a little easier for us to work with. And then yeah, we're gonna put the pump there. We should also probably do like a priority 7 dig of a good chunk of the algae here to try and allow all this hydrogen that's trapped to flow out into this area over here. Not quite sure if they're gonna be able to reach this bit. I might have to build like another ladder for them to get to that, but that's fine. That's fine. They're all working on this. They're all getting pretty stressed out, but the massage tables are there. They can get that stuff done. That's fine. The wash basin now has water, which is also good. And then I'm also going to do a like level 5 probably deletion on these guys because they're not necessary. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Get rid of just the buildings that are here. I want rid of the ladders really more than anything else. Get rid of you and you. And we need that one and we need this one. But other than that, everything else there can go. Again, not really a high priority issue. Not something we need to get rid of as soon as possible. And I am underwhelmed, I think, by the amount of food that we have secured. We've got not a lot in the way of food. And also, real quick here, we can see if our bridge is working. It looks like it's about the same. I guess one solution would be that we could just disconnect this pipe and just have all of our polluted wastewater go into the thimble reeds, although I don't know if the thimble reeds use up enough water for us to do that. I guess we could try it, right? But at the same time, yeah, no, I guess we will. We'll try it. Let's go to the plumbing overlay and let's just delete that pipe. Again, priority 5 is fine. I'm not really bothered about that getting done too soon. It's not a high priority, and as I expected, they cannot get over to this ladder, so let's just do something like that. Doesn't need to be priority 9, actually. It's a bit dire for ladder building, but it's fine. It is something I kind of want to get done sooner rather than later. I'm impressed with this. I thought it was actually going to take us quite a bit longer to get rid of all the chlorine around here. And although, again, there are little bits of it here and there, for the most part, it's doing just fine, which I like. I like a lot. And then eventually we'll just dig out like all of this stuff here and just have it be an extended part of our base. It'll be a new area to put more stuff, more storage compactors, more room for beds. Maybe we'll finally get a mess hall. That's something that I haven't got yet, somewhere for our duplicates to actually eat and not just be kind of sat down. Do we have a table? Yeah, we've got a mess table, but it's in the med bay. And so really that's the only place our duplicates can eat without sitting on the floor like Hiscal's doing right now, which is, again, not great, but that's fine. That is fine indeed. So they've dug all that out. The hydrogen should start now to slowly but surely make its way up to there, which is good. I think I'm happy with the amount of chlorine left about. There's a few little pockets around here and there, but nothing so severe as to cause a problem. And so I am going to order a level deconstruct of the pump, and actually the power lines, the pump, the filtration vent here, get rid of all of it, and then we're going to rebuild it up at the top here, like so. We're going to have a gas pump right at the top, like that, so it gets every single last bit of hydrogen, kind of correct the mistake we kind of made with the chlorine. We should have really put the chlorine pump, I think, at the bottom here to get all of the chlorine, although for the most part, it worked out just fine. And then we'll have gas pipes that go from here out like that, and then down. At some point, we do need to have a gas bridge. Can the filters go behind here? They cannot. So I think we'll have that like right about there. We will delete that, rerun it like so, and then have that go in. Oh no, we want that to go out. Don't we want the filtered gas, which is going to be hydrogen, to go down like that. And then we want all the other gas, which is going to be like oxygen and maybe a little bit of chlorine, to get pumped out like right there. Anything else that's not hydrogen, we want to just stay here. We're not bothered where it goes. It can just float around in the area just fine. Cool. Okay. Also, I think I am going to bump this stuff over here up to like a priority 6 because it's been like a whole episode and we haven't got it yet. So I'm going to try and get at least one of these online. Can we get all of that done? Also, can we get like this whole area here dug out like so? And then I'll bump the cables as well up to priority 6. That still puts them at a lower priority than the a lower priority than the hydrogen in the pump system over here. But once this is done, we can kind of just set this and forget this and come back to it once all the hydrogen is gone, which again shouldn't really take all that long, I don't think. It should be a fairly quick and easy job. So starting to work on the power, I think, is a good idea. I'm contemplating whether or not we want more duplicates. We've got 6, and I think 6 is a good number because it's kind of easy to sustain 6, or at least it was. I don't know if this update's changed how much mealwood you get, because again, we are quite low. I guess we could expand the farm out a bit more, or even make a second farm if we wanted to get more mealwood, or maybe even look into different types of food, which might be the intended way of going forward here. But it is fairly easy for the most part to kind of maintain 6 duplicates, but on the same note, we could get things done a lot faster, I think, if we had a few more duplicates lying around. And speaking of our duplicates, I don't think, nobody else but Sarah right now is ready to progress on to the next tier. And I don't really think I'm bothered just yet. And actually, I don't know if we ever want to make Sarah a tenured scientist, because she's not really doing much in the way of research now. We've got a few more pieces of research that need doing, for sure. But I think she can do all these at the level she's at. And so I don't think it's worth the extra decor expectation and therefore the extra stress to have her do all that stuff. Also, let's get rid of that, shall we? Because we're not going to be dropping anything into here, I don't think. We've got no clean water in the base, and we don't want to put any of our food poisoning infested water into this pool either. So priority 6, get rid of that. Thank you very much. So they can actually go ahead and build a priority 6 insulated tile right about there. Also, I think we are going to have to dig out, we're going to have to dig out over here as well, right? So level 6, just dig out that as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to reach that from the floor. Probably not. I'm going to have to put like another floor down, like one tile up, but we'll see. We'll see if they can manage that without any intervention. Is this done yet? It is not. We need to get another ladder down because they cannot quite reach over there just yet. What is the priority on getting rid of this? Can I make that like a priority 9? Can we get rid of this this leaf here so that we can actually build our gas pump and our gas vent? That would be fantastic. Cycle 97. Very close here to cycle 100. I like it. I like it a lot. I also like how many of these hatches we've got all over the place. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, one in the bedroom, 5. We've got at least 5 hatches, maybe even a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe? I'm not quite sure. There might have been 6. And also we'll probably find more out and about as well. I'm happy with how we've managed to retain those. I know in previous playthroughs I've just killed them right away and then regretted it later because we can't do anything with them. This guy is almost done, and then let's get, like, again, another priority 9 ladder right about there, and probably right about there, just so they can reach that gas pipe, just in case they can't. You do need power, which I completely forgot about. We need to run cable up as well, so cable's going to have to go all the way up, like that. It's going to be quite expensive, but that's fine. We'll get it all back when we break it down, and then up and across, like so. That should power everything there. Be all well and good, and I want you to filter out hydrogen. I want all the hydrogen to go out, and actually, thinking about this, it would be a waste, I think, to filter out all of the hydrogen into the void, right? I think it would be much more efficient of us to use a hydrogen generator and turn all of that hydrogen into electrical power. And so I think what I'm going to do is probably build it temporarily, at least, like right here, so I can just hook it in nice and easily to this power line that we're building. So I'm going to put a hydrogen generator right there. That does involve us getting rid of a little bit of rock from above it, like so. Also, let's make that like a priority. I was going to say 7, but, you know, yeah, we'll make it 7. No, we'll make it 9, because I want it done before the gas starts pumping. And so we'll put that there. We'll then redirect our gas pipe so that it goes directly into the hydrogen generator. And I don't think we're going to get a huge amount of power from this, but it's better than just filling up this area over here with yet more unusable gas, just for us to pump it back later on into a hydrogen generator. And so can I get like a priority 9 deletion on this pipe here? Cool. Okay, that's set up. This room is ready, which is good. It's kind of going to have to be all at once, this. Like, it's not like I can set up just this line here to go across here, because we still need all of the other lines that are still intact. And so, really, I'm going to have to build all of the transformers and then move all of the power within one day, because otherwise it could cause quite a bit of a problem around the base. Also, food is down to 13,000. Yikes. That is low. That is real low. I think at the start of the next episode, we'll turn the micro mush back on and give it, and start turning all of our... we don't really have the water to do that, although I guess we're using the... and if we do, we're going to be using the food poisoning infested water to make the lice loaf, which is more calories, but uses water that we don't really have. And especially if we're using food poisoning water, it's also really kind of the worst of all worlds. So, not great at all. Hydrogen is being pumped. This has not yet been destroyed. Can we get like... That is priority 9, right? Yeah, guys, what are you playing at? Please don't let the hydrogen leave. Oh, everyone, what are you doing? They can get... Oh, they can't get there. They can't get there because there's stuff in the way. Iskal, save us. Come and dig this out. We're going to start wasting hydrogen, which is what I don't want to do. Oh, gosh. They've done it. It's done it. It's all right. There's loads of hydrogen coming through here. This is a waste. I should have seen this earlier. I do wish we could have gotten that taken care of. Guys, what are you all working on? What are you all working on that's so important? Probably, I would assume, one of the other level 9 tasks that I've asked you to do in the past. Can they still... They still can't get past there because I'm a fool. I'm a fool. We need to delete this tile also at level 9, which is going to be a problem in the future because we still don't want... Oh, and they're going to bed. Oh! Well. We've still got a good chunk of hydrogen here, so not all is lost. Definitely most of the hydrogen has now just been spilt out over into this area. It's not... We haven't lost the hydrogen. We can still put a pump here and bring it back in if we wanted to, but it's definitely not what I envisioned for this. I would have preferred that to get done ASAP. Also, what I was going to say is we've still got the problem here. Also, I'm going to reduce these guys to level... There we go. The pipe has been destroyed. That's fine. We need to put another little bump here at some point because we don't want somebody, for example, peeing and that pee ending up in the water. I think the easiest way for us to do that might just be to put a mechanical airlock like here. And I think I'll move that one as well over to there as soon as it's built so that it's just symmetrical. That should hopefully mean that if anyone does pee, it gets trapped and we can hopefully get rid of it before it flows into our water. Not a perfect solution because people might still come through here, but hopefully not a terrible one either. All right, that mechanical airlock is built. We can get rid of that one. We'll make it like priority 7 because I want it gone fairly quickly because the doors just slow them down. And we should see our hydrogen gas backed up. Also, we need to get rid of this one. Priority 8 and then re-put down the other pipe like so. Let's make that priority 9. It is. Flipping A. Let's get some heavy watt cables and then let's just do that. Nice. So that should allow this guy to start producing power, and then the 800 watts that it produces should start then to get pumped around through into this battery. And for now, it's just going to get stored there. But in the future, we'll get taken care of. The hydrogen is backing up nicely, which is good. The power wires are being built, which is also good. We've got a good amount of iron ore as well, which has made this, thankfully, quite easy to do. Can you guys not get to that? Oh, no, you can. There we go. So... There we go. The hydrogen generator is producing power. It's probably going to start chewing through this backlog of hydrogen. I would assume fairly quickly, although it looks like we've got a good amount of hydrogen back here because that big square there is not really moving, which I'm happy about. I am very happy about. So that's actually full of power now. I don't know if the excess power is just going nowhere. I'm going to disable that real quick. Like a priority 7, a priority 8. Because I think what I'm going to do, this episode is getting up there in length, but what I think I'm going to do real quick is hook this up to the grid. So this is very strained. I don't like it. Let's get rid of these cables. Let's make this priority 9. I want this done like ASAP. These cables are already broken, so get rid of these cables. We'll hook these ones back up in a second, but get rid of those. Get rid of these two. I'm going to put a bridge here. And then let's go to power. Let's get a wire bridge. I'm going to have a wire bridge that goes... It looks like there's no input and output here. It's just around. So I have a wire bridge there, and we're going to have a wire bridge probably like there. And then we're going to have these wires come down and then just right across, connecting to everything on the way, like so. Do we want a wire bridge there? Probably. Yeah, actually, we don't need a wire bridge here, do we? Let's cancel that wire bridge. Cancel. There we go. Okay, let's put a wire bridge over here instead. Yeah, I think putting one there might make a bit more sense, although it is going to have like a weird cable going like that, which people aren't going to like, but for now it's kind of just, it's fine as like a temporary measure, and then we'll do that as well to make sure that these and these are connected. And so just temporarily, we're going to have a hydrogen generator powering our fridges, powering our rock crusher that we don't really use too much, and also powering some of our other stuff, although, no, okay. I know I'm going back and forth on this. I don't like that. I'm going to cancel this, and I'm just going to have, for now, of course, this is all going to change once we get more of our transformers in, but for now, I'm just going to do that, because I think 120, 240, 360, 480, 600, it's just over 1,000, but we're not really using these two. We're not really using the micro mushrooms. I think that for now, at least, this transformer should be able to power everything on this line, as well as these two algae deoxidizers, and also we're not really using the supercomputer either, so I think that is, for the most part, going to be fine. There we go. Wire is built. No power. Really? No power. You don't have any power? How is that possible? No power. That's not sending power over. These are online. So it does have power? This one's strained, which doesn't surprise me too much. Let's not forget to do that and that to make sure that all this stuff stays connected. But I think it should be fine. I might just disconnect this wire temporarily. Not that one. Just that one. If we disconnect that, make it like priority 8, then hopefully the strained icon will go away. There we go. Is that strained still? It is still strained, which surprises me. Again, I don't know if these two passively use power. I assume they don't, but I'm also not certain. Power available 0. Is the hydrogen generator is offline? Of course it is. Let's enable that building again when the morning comes. And I think we'll end today's episode, guys, on day 100, which is about to be upon us any second now when our people wake up. The hydrogen's still backing up. We've got very little hydrogen left. There's not a lot of oxygen up here because we moved our deoxidizers. But if we put our algae deoxidizers back over here, I think this would fill up with oxygen again very soon. There's little bits of hydrogen that are still being pumped about. This is being generated. This guy finally has power, which is good. And I think that things are looking okay. This wire is strained, but I think it's not going to be a problem, maybe? It is only temporary, of course. Next episode, we'll come back. We'll put in the rest of the transformers here. We'll put in 3 more to get us a total of 4. Hook everything else up properly. Get rid of all this stuff down here. Start to look, hopefully, at getting some form of power out of, hopefully, some kind of geyser that we still need to find. But for now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's episode of Oxygen Not Included. There, as always, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit like. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe if you're new here to be the first to be notified as soon as new videos go out. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.